The Graduate Consortium in Women's Studies began as a conversation among friends in 1988. Everything followed from this beginning. As feminist scholars, we dreamed up the consortium because we wanted to work together in an institution of our own. That the impetus came from scholars rather than administrators or even students accounts for much. The consortium was shaped by who we were as well. 6 white women in our 40s and 50s who worked in Boston area universities, trained in traditional disciplines, and connected to women's studies since the 1970s. We were middle class by virtue of our education and jobs, politically left of center, and with the imprint of the 1960s upon us. Now, what I'm reading from is an article called Inventing a Feminist Institution in Boston, an informal history of the Graduate Consortium in Women's Studies that came out in the National Women's Studies Association Journal the summer of 1996. It's got an authorship by a number of people, what we fondly call the motherboard, that is the original group of people who put together this consortium. And it's there in the public record for anyone to read it. The way those conversations began, though, was with funding from the Ford Foundation. The Ford Foundation funded women's studies programs of formerly male or predominantly male institutions in order to strengthen their hand on campus. And those of us so distinguished began to meet in my kitchen to discuss what our programs needed to develop. Joyce was the first person to talk about this with me, and she and I had different agendas. She was concerned that her students didn't have the full range of academic disciplines to choose from in their research and learning. Me, I was much more selfishly interested in faculty development. I wanted to work with people who were outside of my institution. So we thought up an institution that would give students the opportunity to study with feminist faculty at other institutions and would give faculty the opportunity to work with and learn from other faculty at other Boston area institutions. And so, and we worked hard on getting our respective institutions to accept the consortium. I remember we did a lot of research on the pre-existing consortial arrangements among some of the 6, and we brought those to our deans and made the argument that it would save a lot of money for education, which of course it does. And what we created this way, by this collective effort, has really borne fruit. Remarkable subjects have been explored and taught, subjects not possible at separate institutions because of personnel shortages and curricular needs. Friendships have sprung up across institutional and departmental lines. Graduate students have been inspired and mentored by faculty from institutions other than their own. Books and articles and chapters in PhD dissertations have been written out of what was learned in the interdisciplinary ferment of these remarkable courses. One of my own books grew out of a subject that I taught with an anthropologist, and a second subject with a musicologist has inspired that colleague to write the book that she's halfway through right now. All of us involved in the consortium have a better sense of our larger feminist community in Boston, who the players are, and what is going on at different institutions, what graduate students are thinking about, and so on. It makes us better teachers, it makes us better colleagues, and it makes us better intellectuals.